Live. We are live on
now
both.
Live. Hello.
Hi. We'll give it a sec for everyone to basically connect with us.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you want to take it away and talk a little bit about
Yeah.
sort of what we did or why you came to me and that good stuff?
Okay. Hi everyone. I'm Linda of Cave Topology. I'm here with Sari Hoban, and we're here at Westside Aesthetics. I came in, I think, 2 weeks ago. It was only 2 weeks ago. Sorry, with the rain and everything, I'm already like, maybe it was a month. I came in 2 weeks ago because, let's all face it, like whenever we get on Instagram, when we post up pictures, for me, the biggest thing was that I was face tuning myself on my face in areas that I felt like could easily be fixed if I just, and it doesn't have to be surgical. There's lots of options, and I definitely just came in, had a consultation, and we discussed kind of like what I had issues with in terms of, or not issues, what I wanted to change or maybe brighten or freshen up on my face. And my biggest concerns were my their labial folds, nasal labial fold, my small lines, also known as small lines, and as well as crow's feet. My eyes were just, with time, with age, and the fact that like I'm constantly in front of the camera, all those factors played into me deciding that this was time for me to basically get the...
Yep. And that is a big decision for people to take the plunge and like come in for their very first appointment. I think a lot of people look on Instagram, look at pictures of themselves from all different angles, and have this feeling of like, is it time? Am I ready to take the plunge? There is sadly still a little bit of a stigma associated with this, which is why I'm so glad that you're being vocal about what we're doing. Because I think it's only fair. We see all these gorgeous people on Instagram and like this 10-year challenge. I wish people would say, what did they do to stay looking this good over 10 years? And how much did they spend on their skincare and injectable routine and lasers? So I'm so happy you're being so open about your first time experience. And this is something that I talk to patients a lot about, sort of some small insecurities that really don't need to be a big deal because it can be a very easy fix in like a 10-minute appointment, and now she's feeling amazing. So
And for me, it was a big ego thing. Like part of the process of me coming in here, because I talked about it a lot on my blogs, or my blog, with my blog posts. I talked about it probably a couple of times last year, and I actually wrote a blog post called, Taking the Plunge, like, am I ready to take the plunge? And finally, yes, it was time. It was just getting over that idea and mentality of, oh my God, once I go down the slope, is it a slippery slope, and is it never ending, and am I gonna suddenly come out looking unnatural? Because my biggest concern, I mean, to each their own, for me personally, I just wanted to make sure that I looked exactly like me, but just better. And that's what I wanted. I didn't want to enhance anything that wasn't already existing. I wanted to just be a more youthful self, and that's exactly what I achieved here. And I love my results. I know I have makeup on today, so it's like, oh, you have makeup on. No, for reals, you guys see me through my stories without makeup. I always show you guys without my makeup, maybe a little too much. But you can tell, like, great skin or not, gravity, age, everything, that's all going to happen. So no matter how well you take care of your skin, there's just there's other things that just can't be fixed without a little bit of help on the non-surgical side.
So as we age, we do lose a lot of volume in the face. So like Linda was saying, she can take great care of her skin as much as she wants, but unfortunately we start losing the building blocks of healthy tissue. So it's made up of collagen, elastin, and hyaluronic acid. So as we age, we begin to lose all of those things, and our bone, our actual skeletal structure, begins to resorb, meaning the body actually starts sort of breaking down the bone, and certain things that are holding up the framework of our face, our skeleton, are actually getting smaller. So the support for the face is becoming less and less. So as we age, things kind of sag down, they get a little sad. How do we make them happy again? We plump them back up. So these nasolabial folds are a very, very common area of concern for people. Same like under eye bags or like jowling here a little bit. It's all just the same concept of losing the support and the framework of the face. So by lifting everything back up or filling in here, then we make the face look natural and just reverse the clock a little bit, which is what we want to do.
Yeah. For those of you that might just be now joining us, we just kind of want to. Hi, we're doing our live Q&A. I came here around 2 weeks ago and had a consultation, and then also got my first appointment ever getting facial fillers and injectables, and I actually really, one more time, really love my results. And I'm here with Sari Hoban, and we are gonna I had a couple of questions that people wanted answered. I think one of the biggest ones that I got from a couple people were cost. I think I'm gonna leave that to you.
Yeah. So cost, the best way to discuss that, because each person is unique, would be to schedule a consultation with me. So I don't charge for my consultations. On average, if we were doing Botox or Dysport for someone's upper face region, which would be around their eyes, between their brows and their forehead, would be around $300. And that's something you would probably want to do 3 times a year, maybe 4 times a year. So I compare it to, like, if you're going to buy an expensive pair of jeans and never wear them, may as well spend that money, take care of your face, and do something that's preventative. And then fillers are a little bit pricier, so they range from like $500 to $1,200 for a syringe of filler, depending on the duration of the filler, where it's going in the face, things like that. But those last longer. So fillers last anywhere from 6 months to 2 years. So while initially the cost is a little bit more upfront, it will last you longer than Botox, which you'll maintain every few months.
Maybe you can explain them where I had
Sure.
what stuff, and then we can talk about, because I know a lot of you were like, what's Dysport? Is that Botox?
Mm-hmm.
Is that an off-brand of Botox? And we can also discuss that.
Absolutely. So Linda had a very, very common concern that a lot of young women have, which are crow's feet. So that's the muscle called the orbicularis oculi. It's this circular muscle around the eye that contracts. So when we smile, the muscle moves in and down and closes off our eyes. And unfortunately, with repetitive motion over the years, we're not born with these lines, but over the years, we get these little lines that radiate out from the eye. And so our goal for Linda was, when she smiled, her eye kind of closed in and down. So by relaxing it, it lifts it up and out. And you guys will see in her before and after pictures, she looks so bright and awake because the eye sort of stays open, so it gives a nice brow lift. And you also see the whites of her eyes more.
That was the biggest thing that jumps out at me, was like the fact that the white of my eye was so much more visible, and you don't realize how much more that actually changes almost the size of your eyes. And for all my Asian fans out there, I'm telling you, it's the white of your eye makes your pupils and you just brighten up. So I didn't realize that was such a huge factor when I smiled. I thought when I smiled, that I didn't even realize that my lid had actually started drooping downwards. I just thought it was just crow's feet, but that fixed, kill 2 birds with 1 stone. So
yeah. So we did that, and then we also did a little nasolabial fold filler. So there's obviously a difference between neuromodulators, which are like Botox, Dysport, and Xeomin, and filler. And sometimes patients will get it confused because, there's a lot of terms out there. But filler is like a physical hyaluronic acid gel, which fills in areas that have volume loss, versus a Botox, Dysport, or Xeomin are neuromodulators, which block the muscle movement, so the brain telling the muscle to move. So we've softened this muscle movement, and we've filled these lines in with a physical gel.
Will you explain to them what's the difference between Dysport and Botox?
Absolutely.
Because I actually, when I came in, she was like, maybe we should try Dysport on you, and I was just like, who?
So Botox is sort of like the Kleenex, right? That's just the name that everybody knows for something that can make your face look glowy and beautiful. And a lot of people don't know that there are other options. So in our office, we carry 3 neuromodulators, Botox, Dysport, and Xeomin. And we chose Dysport for you. So Botox kicks in like 7 to 10 days. It's a little bit stronger. So for my first time people, I actually prefer doing Dysport, which is almost like if Botox is Coca-Cola, Dysport is like Diet Coke. It's like a little bit of a lighter version, which for people who have never experienced this before, I prefer to actually gravitate towards a lighter version that feels and looks more natural, because people are nervous and you never want anything to look too frozen or too intense, specifically if we're doing like the forehead. People can feel like they are a little immobile, and we never want that to be the case. So they're very similar, and I use them both all the time in my practice. But for specific candidates, like first-time people, I actually prefer Dysport. It's been widely used in Europe, so Botox has been here for like 20 years. Dysport has been here for, I think, 12 years. So it's definitely a very reputable brand. It's just that it doesn't have the same brand awareness, I think, that Botox has.
Yeah. And for me, I think I just personally, when she said, I think the idea for as a first timer, knowing something that was a little bit less, not like less, but just more, I think the word is natural. Like, natural made me feel comfortable, and that's what made me comfortable with coming in and getting it done. Not saying like there isn't anything wrong with getting Botox, but I think for my first time, and for all the people who are like towing the line of should I not, maybe that's also an option for you. So I would definitely look into that. The other question that I got a lot was pain tolerance. How bad did it hurt? And quite honestly, I'll let you know straight off the bat, I have a really high pain tolerance, especially for my face. Like, beauty is...
You're lucky.
Beauty is pain sometimes, and I am all about the beauty side of life. And I've had my brows microbladed. I actually had that fixed. And I've gone through it, so I feel like this on top of that was that Madison, who's actually holding the camera for us right now, the whole time she's massaging me. She's massaging me, and then they were also, what was that thing that was on my face? It's
a little distraction tool. I don't think we have one in the room. Oh, Madison's handing me her pocket because she has one in her pocket. So it's a little vibration distraction tool, so it just vibrates. I don't know why I'm playing it all because you guys can feel the vibration through the camera. But it just vibrates and it just distracts the brain. So multiple stimuli going towards the brain, vibration and pain. Brain pays attention to vibrations. So we hold this wherever we're injecting, and the patient can't feel very much, which is great.
And the whole time, Sari was telling me exactly what I should anticipate. Like when we were going through the small lines, she was like, anticipate maybe even like as of you could feel it on like the gums of your teeth, and I could literally, but I anticipated that because she told me, and there wasn't anything, I want to say on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 maybe giving birth, which I have not yet done. I want to say it's like a 3 for me, maybe even 2.5. But that at the same time, everyone's different. But for me personally, I felt like it was like a 2.5 to 3. And we did put numbing cream on beforehand, and I think you said there was also numbing within the syringe itself.
Yeah. So the way they're manufactured from the company is they have lidocaine in them. So I do a topical numbing just to take the edge off when we're doing filler, not Botox. Botox or Dysport is so fast you don't need numbing for it. But for filler, a little bit of topical numbing to take the edge off. The injections themselves have lidocaine in them. Madison's massages. Nice. We have the patient's ice, which obviously it constricts the blood vessels to help prevent bruising, and it also reduces pain. And Madison's massaging and our little vibration tool. Between all of those things, it's like we're magicians, so you don't feel much.
And then, wait, first, are people asking any questions or anything? I didn't know.
Yeah, someone asked a question for Sari. Can people with autoimmune disorders get fillers, or is it not advisable due to the inflammatory nature of these disorders?
That's a really good question. That's actually part of the initial consultation, is to go through a full medical history. So the best thing to do would be to come in, because certain ones is a definite no, other ones might be okay. So the best thing to do would be to come in, or you can send me a message and I can chat with you a little bit. But that is another reason why I talk about this a lot, going to a very reputable practice. There's lots of med spas and Groupons and things like that, and at the end of the day, these are medical procedures. They're non-surgical approaches to, enhancing beauty and things like that, but just be wary of not trying to price shop when it comes to your face. I'll just say that.
Yeah.
And then another one was comparing the longevity between Dysport and Botox. Do you think that Dysport lasts just as long as Botox?
So I think it varies from patient to patient. Both of the companies report 3 months for duration. Dysport kicks in sooner. So if I inject someone today, Dysport kicks in between 3 to 5 days, and Botox between 7 to 10 days. So that's another difference. If you want more instant gratification, you would choose Dysport. For me personally, Dysport lasts me longer. I think it varies person to person, though. Most people on average get 3 months out of these treatments.
Okay.
Oh yeah, and then somebody also had asked me when should they get fillers, and I think that varies from person to person. It's whenever you feel comfortable. At the end of the day, I think it's as long as it's for you. You know, you're not doing it because, I don't know, your agent, because you're a model, your agent told you to, or you looked on Instagram and you were envious of the top 9 girls that you follow. Do it because it's something that you kind of want to do, that you feel like it's, because you could be basically, if you're in your 20s and you want to tell yourself, hey, this is something, I want to do preventative, that's great. Like, do that, so that it is preventative. For me, it was more of fixing. I was fixing something that was, I saw a crack on the wall, and before I let it, split down my house, I decided to seal it up. And so that was my own personal decision. It was just like, I didn't want to go into another year where I had to pull up Facetune just to smooth out lines on my eyes and on my nasal labial folds. So I was just like, why keep doing this? Why waste that time? Why not just come in for a consultation and see what can be done?
From a medical perspective, neuromodulators, Botox, Dysport, we don't start based on age. We start based on when someone has lines at rest. So typically forehead, you can have lines that are etched across. You could start having the frown lines that get etched in, the little crow's feet that start getting etched in. So really, there's not an age that's too young. I have 23-year-old patients coming in to do this. If you are in the sun a lot, or you have genetic predisposition to aging and having the lines sort of etched in, we can start doing that treatment. Because it is preventative. So you want to maintain it and make sure you're doing it every couple months so that you're not etching those lines in. And then with regards to filler, we can completely transform the face, right? Yours was, nasolabial folds, and you wanted to maintain your natural beauty, which I like to do for a lot of my patients. But it's something that you want to maintain. It's not going to correct. It's not like this is permanently changing her face, but now it's something that she likes, so she's going to maintain it.
Right.
So it's in there, and then she'll come see me maybe in 6 months, and we'll do half as much in those folds. So she's never going to let it get back to how it was before. She's just going to maintain it. So the fillers are not necessarily preventative, but once we sort of do our first initial visit where we put the filler in, then it's just a matter of maintaining it. Other questions from our lovely joint audiences?
We haven't had any other ones besides those ones.
Well, I'm so appreciative for all of your people sending questions, and you guys
lots of highs, lots of hellos, lots of people just wishing us love.
That's nice.
Yes.
Hi everyone, and I'm so happy your people were so dedicated, sent lots of questions in, so that's awesome.
And thank y'all so much. I feel like I wanted to be, I've been very open and honest about this part. I think because you guys have been following me along with in terms of like my beauty, my skincare, and I thank you so much for trusting me to what I recommend, what I like. But this is just another step to it. It's another maintenance that I have added on to my skincare routine. And if you have any other questions, if you even want a consultation or anything at all, DM, DM. Call her. Here's her phone number. We're gonna put it up there. I'm just kidding. And I completely
My eyes are
trust.
like no.
No, I completely trust her. And I'm so glad that this was who I came in here for my first time, because I think any other choice I may have hesitated, but no, they made me 100% comfortable, and I'm glad I did it. And now I'm never gonna go back.
I do warn people. I'm like, you're gonna love this. I'm sorry in advance because you're gonna want to do this for a while. But I always warn people. I'm like, you're gonna love it so much that it's gonna become part of your routine. So. Oh,
and I just don't want to throw in last time. Not that if you do decide to come in and you do get any services, you can get 10% off if you use my code Canthropology10. I think I've linked it in some of my stories, but just throwing it out there.
And if you're booking at the front desk, just mention it to them. Or you can mention it to Madison when she's bringing you into the room, or any of the medical assistants, and we'd be very, very happy to have consultations and to treat some of you.